let's check out our thread. Where did you go? Oh my god.
Vimalina Karanu. That is not Latin. Real Latin, anyway. And I am so not cut out for this. Hi, y'all. I'm TBelle, your Philosofan. And in poring over the anthropological tendencies of internet culture, I have found a complex, twisting, strange corner of the ether. Buckle up, because the pasta is getting creepy. For those of you scratching your head and wondering what the flying spaghetti monster has to do with anything, creepypastas are an internet phenomenon whose sole function is to keep you awake in a terrified, cold sweat. Think of them as the hellspawn evil twins of those sappy forward emails your mother gets. Here's the basic recipe. On the run-of-the-mill message board or forum, someone will type up a scary story. They can be confined to their own board specifically for the creepy or pop up in the wild. The story then gets copied and pasted to many different forums ad nauseum until no one's completely sure where when it started in the first place, like a big bowl of spaghetti. Others add their own bits and flourishes to the story, and the mythos slowly grows and twists like a game of campfire telephone. In their never-ending quest to keep the curious awake, creepypastas have taken what appeals to the internet world and turns it into a weapon of fear. Our internet fascination with nostalgia can be made terrifying when those half-remembered local access children's programs are possessed and inspire homicidal dementia. Our quest to find ever more obscure information is how terrors find and capture you. The deeper you go, the more trapped you become. Some of you may be wondering, there are some unexplainable things in my life. Am I being attacked by a creepypasta? Well, here's a handy guide to recognize the common problems. Hey there! Are you afraid that unspeakable horrors hide in the corners of your home? Have you opened a suspicious file and wonder if an outer god is hiding on the other side of the screen? You might have a creepypasta, but how can you tell? The most common symptoms for a creepypasta include power outages, strange sounds, faces and shadows, malfunctioning technology, computers functioning when they should be off, fire, mold, isolation, insomnia, paranoia, nightmares, hallucinations, blurred vision, ringing in the ears, colds, nausea, flop sweat, restless leg syndrome, coughing, blood from the mouth, seizures, insanity, homicide, and death. If several of these symptoms apply to you, don't bother calling a doctor or police. It's too late. It's best to isolate yourself from friends and loved ones to save them any pain and suffering. Or, if you wish, you could use a bullet for mouthwash and end it early. Actual results may vary. Notable creepypastas include Candle Cove, the original demonic children's show. There's also lost footage of SpongeBob, The Simpsons, and Mickey Mouse with an alleged body count. Several games and servers have mysterious glitches and hacks that can cause terrible fates. However, I think an esteemed colleague on a green futon covered the basics well enough on that. There are faceless murderers, reality-hopping subway passengers, deadly quests for apocalyptic objects, and everyone's favorite bald businessman, Slender Man. Tall, pale, and faceless, Slender Man began as a couple image postings for a 4chan board, and the mythos grew exponentially from there. Acclaimed series like Marble Hornets and Everyman Hybrid have expounded on the concept into this eldritch, corruptive character, who once he casts his gaze on you, there's no saving your life or your sanity. I have no idea if TV tropes research is immune other than that rare freakazoid villain, but I took my chances. While it's evident to see influences of Lovecraft, Bradbury, Poe, and Clive Barker in these stories, creepypastas have less in common with modern horror media and more in line with a far older tradition. The main tying thread in all these is that they actively blur the line between fact and fiction, creating this air of the possible. The horrors you read about just might exist. This concept is the latest generation of communal storytelling among the likes of urban legends and fairy stories. Now, when I say fairy stories, get the classic Disney imagery out of your head. Princesses and vain stepmothers and boys named Jack have a different tone and emphasis to them. Their ilk is better classified under fairy tales. Neither am I including mythology in this legacy. The relationship of God to mortal is different than that of the fair folk to humans. No, these are stories about fairies, and not the harmless diminutive kind. These fairies won't think twice to kill, curse, or capture you, should you so much as get in their way. These were the fairies that kept our ancestors terrified in their huts on the edge of the woods. They stole babies, poisoned livestock, and punished those foolish enough not to respect them. Fairies were given all the respect and fear of predators, for they were powerful, dangerous, and cunning, and beyond the firelit communities of man, it was their domain. Then something happened. Man grew up and chopped down most of the woods to make sprawling cities. The new generation renounced those silly superstitions and claimed themselves enlightened, modern men. However, the stories, like all intelligent things, adapted and survived. The setting of terror became not the wilderness, but the back alleys and lost corners of the city itself. Urban legends were born. The likes of Spring Heel Jack, Sweeney Todd, and even Jack the Ripper in his own way began to haunt the dreams of this new generation. Every city seemed to have an alley to hell, a shop that wasn't there yesterday, a haunted house. As the years went by, and storytellers found different places to call home, urban legends became decidedly suburban. Our parents huddled fearfully in their sedans at the mention of hook-handed murderers and ghostly hitchhikers on the interstate. Razor blades hid unchecked Halloween candy, and cryptic calls from inside the house were the boogeyman in the land of white picket fences. But the harsh light of technology has been shown on the cities, suburbs, and roadways of the urban legend. Cameras are in every street corner, and cell phones are in every pocket. What would have terrified us can now be combated with Wi-Fi. Our metropolis today is the World Wide Web. So once again, the stories have adapted and moved to our new frontier. They're told over message boards rather than campfires, but the hallmarks are the same. Alright, enough! Every slimy, shadowy creepypasta ever slithered through a power cord. Every eldritch terror born in the bowels of 4chan, every Lovecraftian horror that made a foreign troll piss in fright. Listen up! I'm talking about you. All of you. I know you can hear me. You can't drive me crazy. I'm already there. You won't stop me from speaking out. You'll never scare me into submission, and you won't rob me of the grace and dignity my God and my mama have given me. You're messing with a labyrinth fangirl and a Jesus freak. I understand words of power. Zalgo can suck it. Splindy can go star in a hentai. Candlecoat can fry like bad celluloid. The Rake can cry to its mommy. Suicide Mouse can jump in a lake. Missing Number can go jump back behind the fourth wall. And Candlejack can eat sewage for all I care. I will finish the damn review. And after the credits roll, come and get me. I'll be waiting for you. The factor of probability isn't the only thing tying creepypastas to urban legends and fairy stories. In the context of time, the settings are familiar to their audience, yet listeners know they could still take a wrong turn and end up way out of their comfort zone. The stories are, for the most part, communal, growing organically between groups of people with no want or need of copyright. But what I find most intriguing is that all these stories have a bit of a warning to them. The stories in of themselves warn us of the perils of a new and exciting world outside our doorstep. There is wonder, beauty, and adventure out there, yes. But there's also danger. There are beasts in the woods, ruffians in the cities, traps on the net. And these stories remind us of that. It's a memento mori in the midst of our wanderlust, a reminder cutting the hubris brought by exploration. Have many happy adventures, but be careful and keep your wits about you. kids. I guess it's time to go. I'm TBelle, your Philosofan. If you enjoyed, thank you for listening. If you didn't, heck if I care. Always wanted to go with a bang. Catch you on the flip side.
Carnival is in town. You better be ready. Just follow the parade of dancing skeletons. Full of